In this video, we're looking at a blog post called My Weather Forecast, and you can access it online 101computing.net/weather-forecast. Our aim is to use Python to generate a fake weather forecast report, and to do so, we're going to learn how to use decision blocks, also known as selection blocks or if statements. Okay, let's have a quick look at the code first. I've started this code for you. It starts with declaring two variables. The first one is sunny and is set to yes. The next one is rainy and it's set to no. And at this stage, I'm going to add my first decision block, my first if statement. If sunny is equal to yes, in that case, I'm going to display a message to my end user. Print you may want to bring your sunglasses today. Okay. Now, let's see how this if statement is working. First, we've got the keyword if, then if sunny is equal to yes. You may have noticed I've used a double equal sign. It's not a mistake, it's on purpose. It's because we are comparing the variable sunny, or the content of the variable sunny, to see whether it is equal to yes. It is very different to the single equal sign, which is an assignment operator, which is used to assign a value, to store a value. We're not storing a new value in sunny, we're comparing it with the value yes. So if sunny is yes, Python will make a decision to run the next line. If that condition is not met, if it is not true, Python will make the decision not to run this line, to ignore this line. Okay, let's try it. You may want to bring your sunglasses today. If sunny was set to no to start with, nothing should happen. Okay, perfect. Now, this line here, line 5, has been indented to mention that it belongs to that decision block, to that if statement. I could have more than one line in my if statement, so I could also say you should buy some sun cream. Okay, because it is sunny. So in that case, both lines have been indented, so both lines belong to that if statement and will only run if that condition here is met. And if I want to exit my if statement, if I want to be outside of it, all I have to do is bring my cursor back to the left. And in that case, I can write print the end. Now, this will always print whether my if statement condition is met or not. Okay, let's try this. That's my only output because sunny was set to no, so Python decided to ignore those two lines. Okay, perfect. That was the first thing I wanted to show you with if statements. Now let's add a little bit more complexity to our program. I'm going to repeat that process with rainy. So if rainy is set to yes, what shall we say to our end user? Print bring your umbrella. Umbrella. Okay, excellent. Another thing we can do with an if statement is to specify what would happen otherwise. So if that condition is not met, we can use a keyword called else, which is the same as otherwise. So if rainy is set to yes, in that case, bring your umbrella. If not, which is our else statement, no need for an umbrella today. Okay, so that's quite interesting. With an if statement, we can also use the else statement. Okay, we're going to investigate even further techniques now. Shall we try this one first, though? Let's try that. So sunny is no and rainy is yes. So it's advising me to take my umbrella. If rainy was set to no, it should advise me that I do not need to take my umbrella today. Okay, let's add a little full stop. Perfect. Next technique, we're going to look at combining conditions in our if statement. What happens if we want to check that both sunny and rainy are set to yes. Okay, so if sunny is equal to yes and rainy is also equal to yes. Okay, so basically what I'm saying here is I can use more than one condition in my if statement as long as I use a word like and. Okay, now you may think, well, it's not possible, it can't be sunny and rainy at the same time, but actually it is possible, and in that case I'm going to display a message that says you might see a rainbow today if it is both sunny and rainy at the same time. Okay, perfect. So that's another technique. We call this keyword here a Boolean operator, and it is used to combine more than one condition to make sure that both conditions are true for line 14 to run. The same way, we can use another operator or, and to do so I'm going to use a couple more variables. So I'm going to use a variable called IC. I'm going to set it to yes, and another one called snowy, which I'm going to set to no. So I've got two more variables, icy and snowy, and what I want my code to do is decide that if either of them is set to yes, then I'm going to display that it's going to be cold. Okay, so if icy is equal to yes, or if snowy is equal to yes. In that case, I'm going to display the message print it will be cold outside. Okay, or I could say put your gloves on or something. Okay, and so you can see the difference here. We've got two types of Boolean operators and an or. For this one, it needs both conditions to be met. For this one, or, it needs either icy to be set to yes or snowy to be set to yes, or both of them. Okay, either or both of them to be set to yes. So let's try this code here. I've got icy set to yes and snowy to no, so it should be a cold day. It will be cold outside. Perfect. Once again, a little full stop. And if I was to change both of them to yes, it should still display that message. It will be cold outside because they both set to yes. And if only snowy is set to yes, it should also display that message. And the only time it's not going to display it will be cold outside is if both of them are set to no. Okay. No need for an umbrella today, and then it doesn't display anything else. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to finalize this with an extra if statement just to show you one more technique. And what I want to do here is to say that if it is sunny but not rainy, then I'm going to advise my end user to go for a walk. Okay, so I'm going to say if sunny is equal to yes and rainy, and I want to say is not equal to yes at that stage. Okay, now it's true that I could say is equal to no, to be honest. I could say that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use, for a change, another operator, which means is different from or is not equal to yes. So this statement here is saying if it is sunny and it is not rainy. Okay, we call these here comparison operators. Okay, in that case, I'm going to display you may want to go for a walk today. Okay, sunny and not rainy. So let's try that. If it is sunny, yes, and not rainy. Let's try that. Oops, I've got an error somewhere. Let's investigate this. I'm missing a bracket over there. Okay, so let's run it again. And we don't need this. Perfect. So we've got our output here. You may want to go for a walk today. Excellent. Last thing we're going to do in this video, we're going to make it a little bit more exciting. Instead of typing the values we want for our variables, we're going to randomly generate them. And to do so, we're going to import the random library. And then by changing this code a little bit, we're going to make Python randomly decide whether it's sunny or not. So I'm going to use random.choice, and I'm going to choose between two possible values. The first one is yes. Sorry, let's use speech marks. Yes and no. Okay, so every time we press the play button or the run button, Python will choose randomly one of those two values. And if I copy this across, I can do that for all my variables. Okay, let's try this, see what happens. I'm now going to get completely randomized weather reports. Okay, are very similar, these two. And another one here. Perfect. Now, there are more ideas if you want to on the blog post, where it recaps about what we've done today. The blog post also tells you about all the different types of comparison operators we can use when we use decision blocks or if statements. So far we've used the equal sign, is equal to, the not equal, so is different from. But especially when you use numbers, you can start using your crocodile sign. So is lower than, is greater than, is lower or equal to, is greater or equal to. So these are very useful comparison operators we can use in if statements. The code we've used in this video is done for you here. And then it gives you some more ideas of additional things you can do in your weather forecast report. So try it, add more code to it, just to familiarize yourself with all the techniques we covered today. Use of if statement, use of indentations, use of if and else, use of comparison operators, equal or exclamation mark equal, and use our Boolean operators and or.